everyone, so let's move towards our today's topic, which is
Part 2, development of eye. We have already discussed the basic development of the eye till the hyaloid artery, and we have discussed that if the distal part of the hyaloid artery is not degenerated, it will form a cyst, and which causes the microophthalmia. And we have already discussed that what is the microophthalmia. Now moving further, that what is development of retina. Okay, now we will the structures are as you know, there are some structures in the eye: retina, optic nerve, वगैरह etc. So what happened, those structures are developed. How it will develop, we will discuss in separate part. Okay, now first part is development of retina. How it will form? Retina is formed by optic cup. Okay, now in retina there are two main layers: the outer pigmented layer and the inner neural layer. Okay, now if you see the cup like structure, that cup like structure has an inside layer and the outside layer. Inside layer is towards the lens. Okay, and that lens, if you see the diagram in Easy Medical book volume 2, you will easily see the cup like structure. Okay, and you see that optic cup has two surfaces: inner surface and outer surface. So inner surface is basically neural layer, and outer surface is will form pigmented layer. Okay, now between these two layers you will see the a broad space, and that space is called as intraretinal space. Okay, now what happened after the development, after the complete development of the retina, that space, that broad space will be disappear. Okay, now the development of the optic nerve. How it will form? Like I said, optic nerve is formed by optic stalk. Okay, now optic stalk will surround by three meningeal layer. Why? Because optic stalk is directly connected with the neural tube, and neural tube, what will happen to the neural tube? Neural tube will form forebrain, and forebrain is surrounded by, as you know, the brain structures are surrounded by meningeal layer. Okay, dura mater, pia mater, arachnoid mater. So those all those three meningeal layer will also surround the optic nerve. Okay, now at the 10th week, myelination of the optic nerve occurred. Now what is the 10th week? 10th week of the fetal development? No, 10th week of the neonate. Neonate means newborn baby. Okay, now understand this topic, that after the birth of the baby, what happened? The 10th week, after approx 2 months, okay, the myelination of the optic nerve will start. That means that optic nerve will start functioning. Okay, and after approx 2.5 months, the baby will start visualizing. Okay, so this is the main point, which you have to memorize it, and which you have to know, that after 10th week of neonate, the myelination of optic nerve start. Now another topic is development of ciliary body. Now remember this point, that if you see the diagram in the Easy Medical book volume 2, the cup, between the cup and the lens, there is a space. I have left the space between the lens and the optic cup. Why? The corners of the optic cup is called as rim of the optic cup. So I have left the space between the rim of the optic cup and the lens. Why? Because in this space, what will form? Ciliary body will form, iris will form, and further structures will form. Okay, now how it will form? Like I said, the corners of the optic cup is called as rim of the optic cup. Okay, and it is the point where both the layers of the retina, that is outer and the inner layer, outer pigmented layer and the inner neural layer, will unite together, and that are meeting together. And that point where those two retinal layers are meeting together, that point is called as ora serrata. Okay, and that point is the point from where the ciliary processes arises. Now I know that the question is, the ciliary body is a part of the middle layer. Okay, So how it is forming from the retina? So basically it is formed by the retina, but after the development of the middle coat of the eye, it will shift its direction. It will become attached with the middle layer. Okay, so in adults, the development of the ciliary body is from the retina, but in future, after the development of the middle coat, it will attach with the middle coat. Okay, now like I said, ciliary processes arises. Now the mesenchyme which is present near the ciliary processes will form the ciliary muscles. Okay, now after that development of iris, what happened, that after the development of ciliary body on each side of the lens, iris will form. Okay, now what is iris? As you all know, iris consists of some muscles which will also control the lens movement also. Now what happened, it will form from the neuroectoderm. Okay, and iris is the part of the middle coat of the eye. Okay, and it is present, like I said, it is present on each side of the lens. Okay, and one more point which is related to anatomy, which that iris is the point which divides the eye into which divides the anterior segment of the eye into two chambers, that is anterior chamber of the eye and the posterior chamber of the eye. Now the development of lens, how it will form lens, like I said, the surface ectoderm, the thickening will appear on the surface ectoderm, and surface ectoderm means the ectoderm, the outer layer of the embryo. So what happened, the thickening will appear, and that thickening is called a lens placode, which will form lens in the future. Now in the lens placode, some cuboidal cells will start appearing, and those simple cuboidal cells elongate, and they will form primary lens fibers in the center, whereas the secondary lens fiber at the lining of the lens. Okay, now one more point which is very much important, like I said, that hyaloid artery will supply the eye during the development. Now what happened, it will degenerate, the distal part will degenerate, that part which is near the lens, it will degenerate. But the point is, during development, the hyaloid artery will form a network around the eye, and that network is called as tunica vasculosa lentis. What is? I am repeating again. The hyaloid artery will form a network around the lens in the development of during the development, and that network is called as tunica vasculosa lentis. It's very important point. Now what happened in after the development, the hyaloid artery will degenerate, so this whole network will be degenerate. Okay, so why this network is present? This network is to nourish the lens, but after the development, after the formation of aqueous humor, the lens will depend on the aqueous humor, and the network of the hyaloid artery will degenerate. Okay, now one more point which is related to clinical, which is very much important, that if any person is consists of if there is absence of lens during development or after development, you will see that the patient didn't consist of any lens in the eye. That process, that condition, that defect is called as aphakia. Okay, now the most important point, that is vitreous body, the development of vitreous body. Like you all know that vitreous body is present behind the lens and in front of the retina, between the optic cup, and vitreous body is a gel-like material present between the lens and the retina, and it is formed by mesenchyme of the neural crest cells. Now development of choroid and sclera, the mesenchyme which surrounds the optic cup. Yes, I am repeating again, it's very simple. The mesenchyme which is surrounding the optic cup will form the choroid and the scleral part. Okay, and the last part is development of cornea. The cornea will start develop from the ectoderm. Okay, ectoderm and the mesenchyme the nearby mesenchyme. So the ectoderm, the surface ectoderm, the outer layer of the embryo, will form the thickening, and they will form the cornea of the eye. Now you have to remember what are the derivatives of the eye. Now there are four things from which the structure of the eye will form. Those four things are neuroectoderm, which is what is neuroectoderm? Neuroectoderm is the ectoderm of the outer layer of the neural tube. Okay, that is called as neuroectoderm. The second thing is surface ectoderm. Surface ectoderm is the ectoderm of the whole embryo. The third thing is mesenchyme, or you can also say mesoderm. Okay, we will say mesenchyme. Okay, and the last thing is neural crest cells. Now what these four structures are forming, these four things are forming: neuroectoderm will form iris, retina and the optic nerve. The surface ectoderm will form lens of the eye. The mesenchyme will form outer and the middle coat of the eye. Outer coat is called as fibrous layer and the middle coat is called as vascular layer of the eye. And the last part is neural crest cells, which form vitreous body, sclera and choroid. So this was the whole topic regarding the development of eye. Many students, many teachers, many professors will say that this topic is very difficult, but it is not. As you have already watched the lectures, it's very simple topic, and one of my favorite topic is the development of eye, because it's very interesting and it's very easy to memorize. I don't know why the professors are saying that it's very complicated, but according to my opinion, this structure, this development of the eye, the topic is very easy and very interesting. So till then, work hard, study hard, and good luck. Bye bye, take care, thank you.